Alright folks, so one of the things that I noticed for my mentees is they want to set up a Google Classroom this particular year, and I've had a Google Classroom now for a little under a year, so I'm really in favor of this for our setting. So one of the things that I want to add to my Google Classroom though is an assessment piece. And in the past I've used Google Forms, and it really wasn't what I was hoping for with my students. And I know there's another number of online sites that I could use obviously to go ahead and generate assessment pieces, but I think since it's a Google form and it's with Google, it's Google Classroom, just try to stay with Google as much as possible. The less clicking the better. So Google Forms did update how they do things, and I found it to be much better, to be honest with you. I made a couple of them because the last 2 days I've been at Avid training, so that's why I'm not there today. And I've got some forms that I've used in the past with my students. And I had these on my website, which no student ever went to, I think. But I would embed these forms, and then they would go and watch a Khan Academy video, and they would answer these questions. So I'm going to click on one of these. Let's go with pedigree analysis. Hopefully we got some students that did this particular assignment as makeup work. Oh good, I see one response. That's great. So what you can do with your old Google Forms is you can update them to the new ones. So I'm going to do that with this particular Google form. And I can see all of my questions. So what does a circle stand for in a pedigree? What does a square stand for? This looks good. So now I can go to responses, and I can see that Michaela V. Brock took this. It doesn't give the date that she took it because she was a student here a long time ago, but I can check each one of her responses. It's almost like I can grade this right here as it is, which would be nice because this particular assignment, it's all fill in the blank. It's not multiple choice. But if I'm going to use Google Classroom and Google Forms, I think what you want to do is make sure that they don't have too many questions on them and that they're multiple choice. So looking at the ones that I generated for Wednesday, this was energy flow and ecosystems. And this is what they look like now. It's kind of nice, this little format at the top. Get your coffee here. Notepad, I like it. You can see the questions that I put in here. There's email, and I do believe you can set it up so that it'll collect the email automatically, so you really don't need that, but just one more thing to make sure that they're doing the assignments and not somebody else. Just looking at that, I think there's 8 questions on that one, which is about right for my students. But now it gives me this responses right away. And so I can see that the students who took this, the median was 5 out of 8, which is pretty good. That's passing. And I look down here, 2 students were able to complete this assignment. Stephanie got 8 out of 8, which is good, kind of expected, and China got 5 out of 8, so I think that's pretty good. I was hoping more students would have taken it, but there was a sub in the class. You'll have that. So now I can look at each one of these responses too. And the green, it doesn't tell me who this is. I don't believe so. But since there was just 2 students, I can figure out, well, China didn't get them all right, so she got this question wrong. Okay, so maybe I need to go back and address this. You know, especially if I get to see where this number is higher than the percentage of students who get it right. So it's a great tool for teachers to determine, you know, where they need to focus their energies on in the future for important concepts. This is another feature that I found pretty beneficial, but this is something they had tied over from the past. This is nothing new, where they would have a sheet, you know, and it would show you all of the answers for each student. It'll tell you when they took it. It gives you their username that they would have typed in, but it also collected their email. It's kind of shady, but it's one way to make sure that they're doing the assignment. In the past, you would have used Flubaroo to grade these assignments, and I'm going to talk about this with my mentees too. I'm sure you guys all have used Flubaroo before with any type of Google form, but it's basically a way to grade a bunch of assignments, and it'll give you data also, but I'm not sure if it's entirely necessary anymore. So I'm going to go back to this, You can see some of the features, get email notifications for new responses, so I want to make sure that I get that so that if any students finish this at home, I'll get a little ding that it was done. You can select the response destination, download responses, you can print the responses. Also up here, I thought there was something interesting. So obviously a pre-filled link, which you can embed in other Google documents. But I've got it basically right into my Google Classroom, so I'm just going to take you quickly to that place because it's one of my favorite places to go to now. And that's the default one it always goes to. So each one of my classes is set up. Here's Biology A, Part 1. And so this would have been the assignment that they did while I was at AVID training. So ecological models, you got your topic, your essential question. They watch the video, they pause the video to take notes, and they write a full page of notes. You know, 3/4 is usually good enough for me. Write a level 1, 2, and 3 questions, write a summary, and then they're going to click on the Google form like this, and it'll take them right to that location. Obviously, it looks a little bit different for me, and I can take the quiz too if I wanted. So, I hope this is helpful. I hope this is a great way also for my mentees to go ahead and check for understanding with their students. Thanks.